Hello. Have you ever wondered what is love? We hear it all the time. We hear it in songs, in movies, we read it in books, we see our friends saying it, people around us. Perhaps you've said it at some point in your life, or someone has said that to you. But in reality, what does it really mean? Stick around to find out.
Others require new
Principal investigator.
Actor and environmental activist.
Wait, what? Alright, so let's talk about love. It's a term that we all know. It's often associated with this image. Although, now we know that the heart is actually not the place where it's generated. Although our heart rate does get affected by it very drastically when we're feeling it. So let's go ahead and define what love really is. Let's get scientific for a minute. Imagine one man and one woman who come across each other and they like each other. Have you ever heard of one of your friends saying that he met someone or she met someone and she or he felt in love with him or her? Has that ever happened to you? I've heard it many times. But what is really happening, scientifically speaking? Well, from a romantic perspective, it sounds very, very dramatic. But the reality is that testosterone, estrogen, and some other hormones are being produced in their brains and their genitals. Mostly in their genitals. It actually causes humans to feel sexually attracted to each other. This might not be considered love per se, it's just attraction. Or in other words, lust. In most cases, this sexual-driven attraction only lasts somewhere between a month and a year. But the problem with following under this idea and you buy into sexual attraction, and if at some point that sexual attraction turns itself off and one of the parties no longer feels attracted to the other person in most cases will not withdraw the relationship. Because even though the other party does not fulfill their desires and does not make them feel happy anymore, staying with them is better than being alone. And that's why they stay. And there is a word for that. It's called codependency. And that's how most marriages stick together nowadays. So that's all depressing, right? So let's take another approach. There is also the philosophical approach. The Greeks used 7 words to define love and based on the different ways in which we can feel them. The first one is eros. Eros is sexual or passionate love. And this is the type that aligns most likely with the romantic love that we know nowadays in our current society. The second one is philia. Philia, or friendship, is shared goodwill. A person can bear goodwill to another for one of 3 reasons. He is useful, he is pleasant, and above all, he is good, rational, and virtuous. Friendships founded on goodness are associated not only with mutual benefit, but also with companionship, dependability, and trust. The third one is storge. Storge, or familiar love, is the kind of love between parents and their children, like loving your mother, your siblings, or your son. There is no sexual attraction involved, and it's pure love. It's like when they say, that's a face that only a mother could love. Well, that is storge. The fourth one is agape. Agape is universal love, such as the love for strangers, nature, or God. Unlike storge, it does not depend on filiation or familiarity. Agape can be said to encompass the modern concept of altruism, defined as unselfish concern for the welfare of others. The fifth one is ludus. Ludus is playful or uncommitted love. It can involve activities such as teasing and dancing, or more overt flirting, seducing, and conjugating. The focus is on fun, and sometimes also conquest, with no strings attached. Ludus relationships are casual, undemanding, and uncomplicated, but for all that can be very long-lasting. Ludus works better when both parties are mature and self-sufficient. Problems arise when one of the parties mistakes Ludus for Eros, whereas Ludus is in fact much more compatible with Philia. The sixth one is Pragma. Pragma is a kind of practical love founded on reason or duty and one's longer-term interest. Sexual attraction takes a backseat in favor of personal qualities and compatibilities, shared goals, and making it work. By the way, another Philautia is self-love, which can be healthy or unhealthy. How healthy it might be is entirely up to you. An extreme amount of self-love leads to an arrogant behavior, which is unhealthy. Also, no love at all leads to depression and anxiety, which is also unhealthy. Balance is the key to a healthy self-love. So, ultimately, what is love? Love can be a sexual drive created by our brain and genitals to reproduce and survive as the social animals that we are. Or it can also be what your dog feels when he sees you after you come back from work. That is totally up to you to decide. So now that we covered what love is, why don't you tell me what it means for you in the comment section down below? Tell me what kind of love do you feel and what do you love? Please subscribe, like, and click the bell button down below. See you next week.